Talk Network, it's today's hottest topics with an added flair. You get ready because the conversation will be hot and better yet, mobile. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app available on Android, iPhone, iPad, and you can listen to us on the web at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com. Write down our talk line at 504-341-TALK. That's 504-341-8255. Interactive and worldwide, that's what we are. Join in on the real conversation and tell a friend about the New Orleans Talk Network.
Hi, I'm Sheriff Joe Lapinto, and you are watching the New Orleans Talk Network.
This is Congressman Cedric Richmond, and you're watching the New Orleans Talk Network.
Hi, this is Stan Schofield, and I'm inviting all of my KWK family and my family to watch Church Without Walls, 11 o'clock on Mondays, for the greatest and latest show around. Thank you.
What is New Orleans Talk Network? It's today's hottest topics with an added flair. You get ready because the...
Kick it for me one time.
What is the world coming to? Seems like everyone is running from the truth. Good morning, good morning, good morning. You are listening and you are watching Church Without Walls. We are coming to you from the beautiful studio of the New Orleans Talk Network in this beautiful city of Marrero, Louisiana. We come your way every Monday morning, 11 to 12. We are Church Without Walls. I'm your host, Charles Stewart. We want to knock down every wall that's standing in your way. And y'all know we tell y'all every Monday morning that you are the church. We are the church. We are God's chosen people. So we should stand together and knock down every barrier, every wall that's standing in our way. We come to enlighten you and to share with each other what we have learned in the four walls on Sunday morning that we have learned to share with us. We don't want to be selfish. We want to let everybody know how much that we love each other. And we have a very special guest that we have on the phone with us. He our special guest. He's not able to be in the studio because he's many miles away from us. But he is someone who's very, very special. Y'all know his brother, one of the most renowned person in this country. Y'all know the Reverend Dr. Al Sharpton. And many across this country may know his brother. His brother is not only a renowned person in the great state of Alabama, his name is the Reverend Dr. Kenneth Sharpton Gastro. And he is going to be sharing with us today on some things that he's doing in the great state of Alabama. Something that happened in the past, and he's reliving one more time. And he's going to be telling you the great thing that he's done. He's going to tell y'all a lot about himself. And I'm not going to try to explain to you who he are. He's going to tell you the church that he passed. He's going to tell you all the great things that he's done. And I'm going to give him that opportunity to tell y'all who he are, what he's doing, and what he's going to be doing. And also later on in the show, we're going to do a topic, why young people not getting involved in politics. And that's why he's doing what he's doing in the great state of Alabama. But before he comes, I just want to say real quickly that we are grateful to the Academy for honoring some outstanding people on last night. Those for the first time honorees Mr. Spike Lee, Regina Kane, Lady Gaga, those first-time honorees got their award. They have to sit and waiting on 40 years. We think the Academy Award for honoring those. Everybody there who got award, many of those was nominated their first time, and they got it on their first time. And this is what this nation need first time bringing some new blood. And this is what I want to be talking about today on the show. But we want to bring in our guest today, Mr. Doc. Are you there? You can hear me, Doc?
Yes, sir. I'm now.
Doc, I just want our listening audience to know that when you come on this show, I tell my guests, they got a thing said, Burger King, have it your way. And you know they say you can hold ladies hold a picker. So when you come on this show, you can have it your way, Doc. So you just pretend like you is the host today. So whatever you done in your great state and whatever you do in your state, let our listening audience know, Doc. And this show go all over the country, not only in your state, but it go all over the whole 50 states, not only in the state of Louisiana, but everywhere. So, Doc, let us know what's going on in your great state and what you do and what you do all over this country.
Well, Doc, I appreciate it. First and foremost, I'd like to thank God for New Orleans Talk Network and y'all giving us the opportunity to be on the show. I thank God for you and Dr. Clay, one of your best friends that happens to be a mentor to me and my brother and actually the whole Sharpton family. A lot of people don't know, and I'm not ashamed to say, he kind of brought me and my brother, my dad, and all of us back together. We was kind of ostracized a little bit, for some of you that do know the family history. But, it's in our blood, Doc. It comes from my father, Reverend Sharpton Sr., who actually was one of the ones that did walk with Dr. King and all that, along with Dr. Clay and them. So, I guess I'm just a fruit of the old tree that just fell in then some good ground and had to come through a little bit of soil. And now we done came on up. But what we're doing is we got Selma coming up, the commemoration. And I discovered some things about the commemoration that we're going to later in the show. But what we're going to be doing there is we called on all the preachers, public officials, and community leaders, and formerly incarcerated, and even going to be joined on the phone by currently incarcerated people that's incarcerated across 25 different states. For those of you that know about the prison strike, I'm also the national representative for those that are locked up in prison who are doing the prison strike. And a lot of people don't know, Doc, that in prison they do all the cooking, all the cleaning, all the electricity, all the plumbing, and all. So they got an old free labor union going on. And if some of you remember, that free labor union used to be called slavery. It's now called prison.
Okay.
And what we have done and been able to do is we've been able to get states around the country to look at voting rights, how they disenfranchise us. Now, let me tell you something, Doc, what a lot of people don't understand. They say, well, why are people that get locked up and got felonies and going to prison and jail, why are they interested in voting once they get locked up? They ain't interested in that before they get locked up. Well, let me tell you why. We were citizens before we got locked up. Okay. We were citizens before we got incarcerated, before we got these charges. What a lot of people don't realize that in 1971, this is 6 years after 1965, 7 years after 1964, the Civil Rights Act, and 6 years after 1965, the Voting Rights Act, then 71, Nixon and all of them came up with a way, a disguised way, a really, really sophisticated way to take our citizenship and our voting rights back. And what they discovered is we could do it by giving them felonies. Now, a lot of people going to get mad at me, Doc, but they just got to get in line. I get mad with me, too, every other day. But in 1864, we had a group of Sons of Confederate, they called themselves, that committed treason and all kind of egregious acts on all kind of people, white and black. You know, we talk about what they did to black folks, but look what they did to the colonials and the northern people that came to free black folks. They did some egregious stuff to them too. Some of them got lynched with us. And the forbidden fruit that hung from the trees, not as much though. But they gave them all pardons, and they let all of them go, and gave them back their citizenship. But how did they give them their citizenship? By the right to vote.
Okay.
The right to vote. Now, what declares you a citizen is your birth certificate. But what decrees you full citizenship is your right to vote. So what we have done in 2008, we got a lawsuit. Right? We got about 6,000 people that were able to vote out of the state of Alabama prison. I said, let me say that again because somebody missed. Out of prison in the state of Alabama, I won a lawsuit to call the Moral Turpitude Act where they could vote out of prison in jail because for 106 years they have been taking people's voting rights that should have never been took. Under the Moral Turpitude Act, a person that committed a crime not involving NOT, not involving moral turpitude. In layman's terms, a person that had committed a crime not causing hurt, harm, danger, or suffering to someone else should have never lost their voting rights. Non-detrimental crimes to anyone else. Crimes that didn't inflict pain, suffering on humanity or another human being. Or crimes not involving moral turpitude should never lost their voting rights. I won the lawsuit. We got about 6,000 that was able to vote for President Barack Obama the first time.
Okay.
It took me 9 years to try to get a definition on what crimes fall up under moral turpitude and what crimes does not. 2017 in May, I was able to get it passed through a Republican. Oh, Lord, have mercy, Jesus, Doc, you got to hear me, a Republican Secretary of State said, well, it's just the right thing to do. Let's go ahead and define it and squash it once and for all. And we got it passed to where there's a definition of 46 crimes that are crimes of moral turpitude. Most of them are murder, sex crimes, child against children, terrorist acts, stuff like that. All drug crimes and stuff like that are crimes not involving moral turpitude. Now, me and you both know, Doc, when they released all the drug crimes, you know, because we didn't get the pass like they got now. You know, they got a pass now with the opioids and the pills and all that. That's a health crisis. Okay. But back when the crack and everything else with black folks, that's a criminal crisis. You know, so when they released the crimes involving drugs and stuff, it opened the doors for a lot of us that have been incarcerated and lost our voting rights to be able to vote. That was reflected and shown in December 12th, 2017, when we voted in Doug Jones and took a 25-year rule of Republican United States Senator in Congress. And his name we don't even want to count. We're going to leave him over there with the president. Just don't even call his name. But anyway, that's what we were able to do. Now they have done it in Florida as well. Behind that work in California. And each other state is succeeding. In New Orleans right down there, you got a brother named North Henry that's doing it as well. We formulated a group. We are men, we women, we black, we white, we Hispanic, we Asian, we Indian, we heterosexual, homosexual, LGBTQIA. We poor, we rich, we lawyers, we doctors, we preachers, we teachers. We're the most discounted, diminished, demeaned, and disenfranchised. We are formerly and currently incarcerated people, but our vote matters, and it did. And what we're doing in Selma is we're rehashing that by doing what we call the backwards march. Not only are we going to have the prayer breakfast on March 2nd, that morning, you will have William Barber there. Dr. Byron Clay will be speaking there. You'll have my brother, Reverend Al Sharp, and his group, National Action Network, will be there. You'll have Highlight the Jamal Bryant. And, of course, our mentor and our uncle, we call him, Uncle Jesse Jackson himself. And we'll be there formulating a manifesto. That manifesto will be something that will be formulated by us at the round table on the issues that ails Barbara Ann Wan, Susan Taylor, Tamika Mallory with the women's group, all of us to be there to form a manifesto that comes out of Selma this year. And we're going to do what's called the backwards march. That backwards march is when we're going to literally walk backwards to the apex of the bridge, and we're going to do a die-in. That die-in represents the 400 people that were beat down on that bridge in 1965, along with Dr. Martin Luther King, and we're going to be there for 400 minutes, representing each minute of anguish and hurt and pain that they went through with the dogs and the water hoses and the billy clubs and all that. You know, there's a joke that Joseph Lowry always tells about that bridge, Doc.
Okay.
He said in the 50, I think it was the 42nd anniversary. This is the 54th now. He said that he know that there was 50,742 Negroes that marched on that bridge. And he said, y'all know why I know that? He said, now when I was out there and getting beat up with them billy clubs and stuff, you know, everybody wants to run to the front now. He said, but nobody wanted to run to the front back then. He said, but there was only 600 of us, really 400 and 200 were spectators. He said, but the reason I know now that I missed the 1,782 Negroes and told me they was there with me. Now, I ain't see them. Joseph Lawrence said, I ain't seen none of them now, but they say they was there.
Okay.
So I'm just going to say, don't be one of them folks that say you was there with us during the backwards march. Don't be one of them folks that say you was there with us in the die-in. Be there.
Okay.
So you ain't got to tell me you was there. Let me see you be there. Go ahead, Tom. Yeah, so the other things that we're doing here is we're feeding people, 300 people a day, right here in the place called Dothan, Alabama. Now, let me
That's
tell you
where
about
you
Dothan,
live at.
Alabama.
That's where you live at in Joseph, Alabama.
Dothan, Alabama.
Okay.
There's a little history that goes with Dothan, Alabama. Dothan used to be called the White Belt. They changed the name, of course, from the White Belt and named it after a guy that was David Houston. David Houston was one of the last sole survivors of the governors who did not want to free the slaves, and they call it Houston County. Dothan, Alabama, the White Belt exists within Houston County, and people, black folks, was brought here under what is called convict leasing.
Okay.
Now, Dothan, Alabama is known for planting drugs on folks, and if y'all look up Dothan, Alabama, y'all see where they got the Confederate flag there. Now, our very own chief of police now is the very chief that brought in the founder, the Sons of the Confederate, in Dothan, Alabama. So this is where we live at, and it's very, very adjusting, I would say, to live in Dothan, Alabama, and it's very, very common for young black men to carry charges and things like they try to put on you because you exist in Dothan, Alabama. Now, in New Orleans, there's some different things going on in other places, and in places like East Dublin, Georgia. It reminds me of Dothan, Alabama, and Albany. And, you know, there's just some places in the South, bro, that just ain't got as progressive yet. And, you know, in the times now when we see all this police brutality and all that, these are the things that TOPS address. You know, the Ordinary People's Society, which I'm the founder of, and the Prodigal Child Project, we address these things. We address feeding people 300 people a day right here in Dothan, Alabama, and Montgomery and Birmingham, different places. And we also do all kind of other stuff in activism and advocacy that we do addressing. We are very, very known for bailing out mothers on Mother's Day with the National Bailout, which we was just with, that consists of a whole bunch of different group songs and other groups that go along with us and all. But one of the biggest things that we're known for now is we just put out a toolkit, Doc, and it's going to be coming to New Orleans very soon. And matter of fact, I'll probably email it to you as soon as we get off the phone. That toolkit is something that we train preachers and pastors and formerly and currently incarcerated people and family and friends of those currently incarcerated and formerly incarcerated, and we direct people to go to the jails. Oh, listen to me, Doc. I'm talking about go to the jails. We've been doing this since 2003. And sign people up, register them to vote, and get them to vote by absentee ballot out of the jail. Because our vote matters. people that have not been convicted yet, people have not been to court yet, all those in your city jail. Y'all don't have a metro in New Orleans. Y'all got a city in a county jail like we do here. And the city jail is just full of misdemeanors. They have not lost their right to vote. And they will make a difference in the city elections as well as the state and federal elections. One of the biggest things that you could look up is Doug Jones and the felon voting, Doug Jones and Kenneth Glasgow, and you can see where we've got 8,000 to 10,000 people to vote for Doug Jones and won that congressional seat.
Right.
And went against that 25-year rule. These are the things that we're doing, and we're doing a tour. It's called the Prodigal Child Project Tour. The reason I call it the Prodigal Child Project Tour is not only because I'm a prodigal child, but there's different categories of the Prodigal Child Project. Some of you that never been incarcerated, never been to jail, never done nothing wrong, been a saint all your life. You could be the father of the prodigal child, the mother of the prodigal child, aunt, uncle of the prodigal child, sister, brother of the prodigal child, son or daughter of the prodigal child. But whatever you be, help the prodigal child, because once you help that prodigal child, they come to his senses and be who he's supposed to be. Once you put shoes on his feet, which is give him direction. You know, in the Hebraic law, they say when you clean the feet, because they wore sandals back then, when you clean the feet, the whole body was clean. That's why Jesus told Paul, he said, hold on, Paul. Satan wants to sift you like wheat, because he said, no, don't just wash my feet, wash my whole body. No. Right. The Hebraic law said if I clean your feet, the dust off your feet, your whole body is clean. So we want to give them shoes on their feet, direction where to go. We want to put a coat of colors on. Okay. That coat of colors, you know, for those of us that been to some kind of seminary or been to study metaphysics or study alchemy or study universal laws, we know that coat of colors, everybody has aura, what is called the aura. Let me break it down, Doc. So we know when we see a picture, those of you, I want you to put in your mindset a picture of Jesus and that picture that they have with a halo over his head. Okay. Now, whether you know it or not, everybody got a aura. It's called a halo, an aura over their head. When you're in the creative sense and when you want to create something in the point of creativity, being in the image and likeness of God, because he's our creator and we are co-creators, you have a yellowish tint, a goldish tint. Okay, when you and y'all help me out now. You know, when you could make plants grow and trees grow and plant apples and all that, they say right. You got a what? What they say you got a green thumb. Okay, the color is green. And when you're in a spiritual connotation, a spiritual enlightenment and all the colors be blue and hints of blue and gold and purple tint. Come on, and when you get mad, and some of us say we black out, but others say I see red, your aura shows red. Everybody has an aura. So that coat of colors, what people don't understand, is to cover you in every emotional sense that you go through. And then what did he do? He killed the fatted calf and said, everybody eat, drink, and be merry. Why? Because the fatted calf represented what? The necessities of life. Food, clothing, and shelter. And then last but not least, what did he do what did the father do for the prodigal son? He gave him what? A ring on his finger. Now, Paul said it best. He said that I am a Roman citizen, and with this here ring. See, people don't realize that back in the old days, if you had the king's ring, then you could speak, act, and declare, decree things just like the king.
Hey, Doc, I'm gonna have to interrupt you. We're gonna have to take a break. Could you hold up? And we're gonna take a station break. When we come back, Doc, we want to get more into your discussion, and we want to talk about, Doc, like all the history that I know that you know about, and we want to talk about why our young people, Doc, not getting involved with the history of the African American, why our young kids is not getting more involved in our history when other countries does. But it seemed to me, Doc, in my opinion, that we don't. When we come back after the commercial, I want to ask you more. We want to talk about that more. So we want to take a station break, and we'll be back with our very special guest from the great state of Alabama, Dr. Agastro. So we're going to take a break. You are listening and you are watching Church Without Walls.
What's up, everybody? This is boy Coach Hurricane Hip. You can follow me on Facebook at Henry Singleton or on Twitter at HenryHayoU15.
Listen, this is your boy Fred. Listen, you can follow me on Facebook at Brandon Fred Jones, or you can follow me on Twitter at BFredJones.
This is Jeremiah Gray, man, with G Sports. You can follow me on Facebook, Jeremiah Gray, AKG, and on Twitter, G_paid in full 08.
Pay me the money! money.
New year, new show. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson, and I'm coming back at you with the new year of Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions. And this year, we're moving to Monday night with brand new exciting guests and engaging literary conversation. And we want our listening audience to be there with us because this is going to be a year you will not forget. Catch us every Monday night, 7 p.m., right here on the New Orleans Talk Network. And you can also reach us on the Meet the World Image Solutions Facebook page, the Meet the World Image Solutions YouTube page, and we're on Podbean, iTunes, and Google Play. So catch us every Monday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. See you there.
We are back. You are listening and you are watching Church Without Walls. We thank you for joining us every Monday, 11 to 12 Central Standard Time. We thank you for watching us from your home or wherever you may be. We always thank our listening audience for tuning in. Thank you so much. And we have a very special person on the phone with us, and whenever he comes to New Orleans, and we would love to have him to come into the studio. We wanted to have him by video cam, but we weren't able to connect, but we do have him by phone, and he was a renowned gentleman, and a lot of y'all haven't met him yet, but y'all know his brother, Dr. Al Sharpton, and a lot of y'all know that golden voice. He is the Reverend Kenneth Sharpton Gladstone, and we have him on the phone, and certainly he have enlightened us on what he's doing, but I want to go into something else, but I want him to focus back on he have a march coming up on the 2nd, so I want him to emphasize up on that more. And then we want to talk about our young people before he leave us. Doc, you want to talk about the march again on the 2nd? Hello?
So the march is going to be on March 3rd. March 3rd is going to actually be the march. That is where we have the commemoration of the Bloody Sunday March of 1965. And before anybody can go forward across the march from Selma toward Montgomery, we're actually going to be doing a backwards march coming from the Montgomery side going back into Selma. And the reason why we started doing that, me and Brother William Boyd, my national coordinator of TROP, we started doing that because we got to go back and get some things right before we can move forward. And it couldn't be at a better time with the president that we have now currently and the way that they're taking things back that we already have progressively won. So that is the reason for the backwards march. Some people were left out that were formerly incarcerated. Some people were left out that couldn't be there. Some people were just left out. So we want to make sure that we go back, get some things right so we can move forward all together as one. One of the things that I want to get to now is the question you asked, why young folks are not involved. Now, I've been asking that question, Doc, for a couple of years now. And I keep getting some of the same answers. And some of those answers are they feel like their vote don't count. They feel like their voices are not heard. I want to remind people that's listening right now, and especially your listening audience, that in 1965, when with the Deacons of Defense and the Black Panthers and all the different groups that made us and got us to the point to where we are now, where we can even speak on any platform, were young folks. It was Slick. It was John Lewis, Joseph Lowry, all of them were young. Jesse Jackson, even Martin Luther King, they was in their 20s.
Right.
So I just can't understand why we are so distant from our history in our progress now. But I would tell you something. I think that there's a couple of caveats that we could throw in there that has diminished us from being so politically aware and prowess in our communities and all as young folks like we should. Look who the new babysitters are. The new babysitters are electronics.
Yeah.
The new babysitters now are phones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Phones are the new babysitters.
Yeah.
So the young kids now are not sitting there hearing the stories like the way y'all was sitting me down. I'm 53, but y'all was sitting me down and tell me the stories about Dr. King. I'd be interested in that. I have to watch TV, you know, and learn about that. And I had very, very limited shows that I was allowed to watch. And
tell them about it.
And so it made me more politically aware.
Yeah.
You know, the other thing that we have lost is our morality.
Yep.
We lost our morality. You know, a cop, I talked to an old ex-cop one time, and he called himself a redneck. And I said, you the perfect person I need to talk to. I said, tell me the truth. When did y'all cops change? What happened? He said, well, boy, I'm going to tell you. I said, well, I ain't your boy. So you can't call me that. I said, now I'm going to address that first, and we can continue our conversation. I'm a grown man. He said, well, I'm glad I'm going to respect you. You respect me. He said, but I'm going to tell you the truth, son. I said, what? He said, back in the 60s and all, you know, we as cops used to wear our uniforms and wear our flow-shine shoes. You could see yourself in our shoes. We even had the crease on our sleeves where it was the crease in our pants didn't even match the crease in our sleeves. Our uniform was out of order. He said that when we walked down the street, people used to respect us and see how clean and uniform we were, just like a preacher. He said that was the 60s and the 70s. They had the hippies and they started smoking the weed and all that, but we still had our uniforms on. We still knew everybody in the neighborhood. We all was respected. We knew that our jobs as police officers was peace officers to keep the peace, not slave catchers and not police killers.
Okay.
He said, but then in the 80s, things started to change a little bit.
Okay.
He said, you know, Nixon came out with the drug war, and our uniforms kind of changed then. I said, yeah. He said, we took our flow-shine shoes off and put on some brogans and army boots. We started wearing bulletproof vests and fatigues. He said, they declared war, and we went to war. He said, now you have to understand, when we went to war, y'all didn't realize the war was on y'all. Woo! And see, that changed young folks' mind.
Right.
Because young folks now look at us that they don't have the security from us.
Yeah.
That they, do you understand what I'm saying, Doc?
I got you.
And then the morality left, where's the preacher at? Including myself. You can have the best preacher in the world. Dr. Clay is one of the most integral men I know. But now they got this internet stuff. That's the new babysitter. I'm going to break it down for you, Doc. And that new babysitter would depict Dr. Clay or me or my brother or one of the biggest preachers that withheld their integrity, including President Barack Obama and his whole family, and then would take their integrity and make it something else. And within seconds, the world would change their mindset and their opinion of a person because the internet says something different.
Right.
Woo! It's called they took away the ropes and they came up with a sophisticated thing called the high-tech lynching. So it diminishes and it demeans our children from respecting their role models and feel like they don't have a role model, because everyone they go to look up to, they can look on their new babysitter, which is the internet, which is the phone, which is Facebook, which is Twitter, which is Instagram, which is what's the Snapchat and all that, and turn around and look at that and say, oh, I thought he was my hero, but now they're showing him doing something wrong.
Yeah.
So it took away our integrity. It took away our unified family orientation. It took away our role models. It took away our people we can look up to. And then it became our babysitters, because now we don't sit down and have conversations with our children no more and nothing like that. You know, we just hand them a phone and let them sit in the room by themselves. I went to the hospital, Doc, and I sat there in the emergency room.
Okay.
People hurting, people crying, people going through stuff, kids running around, and I seen a family, a model family, father, mother, son, and daughter. And for a whole hour, Doc, I watched that family. And now one of them said a word to each other. Now they're in the hospital now, in the emergency room. Somebody, which out of them four was sick, and they dared to take one of them in there. But out that whole hour, there was no conversation amongst the mother, father, son, or daughter. Each and every one of them was on their phone.
Yeah.
And then when they called the name, Doc, it happened to be the little girl. And all of them walked up with the little girl, and they went back in the back. It took away our conversation and our humanity with each other. That's why young folks, they don't see the interest.
No family structure whatsoever.
Yeah, we just done lost it.
Yeah,
no
foundation.
You got to look at it, Doc. No foundation.
Yeah.
They done got programmed. That's why it's so important for New Orleans Talk Network and our talk show and other talk shows and all that, to try to bring that foundation back is so important, because they got so many distractions away from us that there's no respect for us. So they feel like there's no reason for us to vote for us, because there's no us that they see and have respect for. They being programmed, Doc.
Hey, Doc, we got to take a quick break, Rev. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Hold on one second. I got to pay some bills, and we're going to be right back. Hold on, Doc. We'll be right back. We got to take a break. You are listening to the New Orleans Talk Network. This Church Without Walls. You like to get in on the conversation? You like to talk to Dr. Gaston, you can call us 563-999-1808. We'll be back.
Here at Jones Insurance, your full-service agency, let us take care of all your insurance needs. We provide homeowners insurance, flood, rental, commercial, auto, and life insurance. Don't let the unexpected tragedy destroy your family's future. Here at Jones Insurance, 7603 West Bank Expressway, Monroe, Louisiana, 772. Contact Lois at 504-348-1492.
Hi, I'm Prophetess Charlene Duforce.
And I'm Bishop Carol Duforce Sr.
And we're from Living Witnesses Ministries.
And we also have a program on the internet called Living by the Word Daily. And we're seen every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon Central Time on the New Orleans Talk Network.
And we would like to invite you to tune in with us every Wednesday morning. Again, 11 to 12 noon Central Daylight Time. Please join us as we teach the Word of God. Thank you, and God bless.
God bless you.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Kick it for me one time.
We are back. You are listening. You are watching Church Without Walls. We have on our special guest, Dr. Gastro, from all the way from the great state of Alabama. We're going to try to squeeze in a few callers right now. Do we have a Doc? You still there, Doc?
Yes, sir.
Doc, we're going to try to squeeze in a few callers there, if you don't mind. Call on line 1. Claudette, line 1.
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Go ahead on, caller. You're on with...
Okay, well, good morning.
Good morning.
Stewart and to your honored guest, Doc. Yeah, I agree with everything you said about the young people because I could, take from my own daughter. She went to a private school, and in her perception of the world is everything is okie dokie, and there's no racism, there's no discrimination. So the young people are really disconnected. They have been hoodwinked. I say that they think, I got a good job, I got a good education, and everything is okay. But really, sometime in their life, they're going to understand what we've been talking about. But it might be too late then. But we need to get the young people more involved in politics, definitely. More and more.
Well, let me say this to you, Carla. One of the things that we got to understand is that we had a black man, President Barack Obama, in the highest office in America. And some of us were still fighting for affirmative action to get good jobs, and we had a black man, I'm going to repeat it, in the highest office in America. But while that black man was in the highest office of America, we had more young black men in prison than we did in chattel slavery when it existed at the same time. One of the things that happened with Trump when Trump came in, and we got to dump Trump, but one of the things that we still got to exist with him until he goes. But one of the things he did was he took away the dividing line. He took away the neutral zone. White folks and black folks couldn't say racism don't exist no more when Trump came in with making America great again. That's when white folks and black folks had to admit that racism still existed. White folks had to choose whether they was racist or not. They couldn't just say, "Oh, all my friends, I got some black friends." Well, guess what? All my friends black, so I don't even want to hear that. But Trump did stop that divine line, and black folks couldn't say that racism didn't exist no more because they started to see the way we was treated. The police brutality didn't show them that, but Trump did. Thank you, Carl.
Yeah, that was the best thing that came out with Trump in that he showed their true color through him.
That's right, and that's why he got voted in. Because there's a lot of people that had stuff embedded in them that they wanted to bring out. They just didn't have nobody to represent them and say it for them. And now that's what Trump is doing. And now you see he doing the inverse. He got Negroes up there waving his flag like he's the best thing ever happened to black folks. You know, he just got on the case. I heard you, Doc, say you wanted to talk about Spike Lee. You know, he just got on Spike Lee case saying Spike Lee was saying something racist to him. And look how much the unemployment rate is so low now for African Americans. Look what I did for African Americans. Okay, let's look at it. You didn't do that. President Barack Obama did that. The unemployment rate was already low, lowest it ever been with President Barack Obama. You didn't help us with the prison reform. We were already doing prison reform. And if you really want to be honest about it, if we have more time, I'll go through every step with y'all with that First Step Act. And the only thing it is reversing some of us out of prison and putting us on ankle bracelets and electronic monitoring. So it ain't really, we're still captured, you know. It's the difference between a house Negro and the field Negro. That's all that prison reform bill that they got going on is doing.
I know. Do we have any bills to help to keep the prison from making profit off the inmates?
Well, that's why they had the prison strike. They had the prison strike 2 years ago, and they had it last year. And they usually do it in June, and they usually do it right there before September 9th, celebrating Alcatraz. I'm the national representative for over 25 different states that contain prisoners. And in those demands, they put up a bill. The prisoners did it themselves to put up a bill that's trying to get some relief because they're not getting paid in prison. People don't understand that they're doing all electricity, all the work. You know, and one of the other things I want the public to know, Doc, is that don't feel like you're so safe. You know, I compare prison to just like Trump and his wall. It ain't what you're trying to lock out, it's what you're trying to lock in. Because if you got 1,700 men that's being watched and overseen by 10 correctional officers, how in the world 1,700 men are being controlled by 10 men? It just don't make sense. You know, we got some of the worst max prisons in the world, especially right here in Alabama, you know, Holman Prison. And at one time, there was only 7 officers there among 1,700 inmates. There's no way you secure. So don't believe that. We are securing ourselves. But to answer your question, there's no bills right now that's really helping us. They got some real camouflage bills that look like they're helping us, but they're really just transitioning us from one part of prison to another.
Oh, what about the people that get out of jail, their rights restored to vote?
Well, that's what we've been doing for years, since 2008. I'm the first and only one right now that's still in existence that won a lawsuit in 2008 in October in the state of Alabama where they could vote out of prison in Alabama. Now, I'm trying to take that all across the country with my Product of Child project and just hashtag Our Vote Matters. We were able, if you were listening earlier, to get Doug Jones, who didn't appreciate it, and we're going to make sure he recognizes the next election, you know, that we're 8,000 to 10,000 formerly and currently incarcerated people in Alabama is the reason that he's up there in Congress right now. So we're going across the country giving people the right to vote as we speak. That's what I do.
Oh, that's great. Great job. And hats off to you. But,
thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. All right. Thank
okay, thank you, caller. And Doc, thank you so much for being on the show, man. I'm most sure you gave $1 million, $1 trillion worth of education to our listening audience today. And Doc, and like I said, if you ever come to this city, we would love for you to come into the studio. And Doc, and we're going to stay in touch. We'd love to have you back on the show, and we're going to get together with the producer, and maybe can do something with you in the future. We can get this thing hooked up where we can do a remote with you, because the information that this country need to hear you more, and the information that you give up is so much, Doc. I mean, I learned so much from listening to you. And we would love for you to come on whenever you're available, Doc, and we would love to have you. And I appreciate you $1 billion time, Doc, for coming on the show.
And I just want to thank you for having me on the show. And for those of y'all that's listening, if you ain't listening to New Orleans Talk Network, that might be why you don't know what's going on. God bless you, Dr. Kenneth Glasgow.
Okay, Dr. Glasso, and we love you so much, and we're going to stay in contact, and we're going to keep on promoting your march leading up to it's in March. So we're going to keep on talking about it, Doc. We're going to be calling you back, and we're going to stay in contact. So to our listening
And the only thing
audience,
they got to do if they want to get in touch, Doc, tell them to go to theordinarypeoplesociety.org. Just spell it out one word, theordinarypeoplesociety.org. Go there, and you can see all the things that we're doing to help us out, donate. If you can't donate, just pray. I need your prayers as well. But come on and be a part of what you already are, the Ordinary People Society. God bless you, Doc.
okay, God bless you too, and we're going to keep on advertising that leading up to the march, Doc. And we love everybody. Remember, we love y'all. Thank you for listening, watching. No such thing as being half dead. If you're dead, you're dead. We love you, and we'll see y'all next week. Thank you, and God bless.